Okay, hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a really quick video now on how you might think about treating a image or a drawing in your sketchbook that you've scanned that has color in it. Now, the ways that I'm showing you in these videos, that there are, I think, 101 different ways to do these things. These are just the ways that I would go about kind of cleaning up an image. Okay, so let's start as we did last time. We're going to open up Photoshop by clicking on our Photoshop icon. Remember, you want to go into Finder to find that if you don't know where it is. I'm going to go click on Open. I'm going to go to my images and I'm going to choose an image that has a little bit of color in it. So I'm going to choose this landscape here. Okay, so click Open and it will open up our landscape here. So first of all, we have again an image that has been scanned on the wrong way round. So as we did before, we go to Image, we go to Image Rotation. Now this one needs a 180-degree turn. Okay, so it needs kind of completely flipping the other way. So we're going to click that, and it will put our image around the right way. Like last time, what it also needs is it needs to be cropped. I don't think actually this image needs to be straightened, but why don't we do that anyway, just for consistency. So the straighten button is on the top panel. Click the icon next to straighten, and then we're going to run a line across the bottom of the page, along the bottom of the paper, because that's where the image will be, by clicking and dragging across the bottom. And then when you're happy with the placement, let go, and it will just slightly straighten that up. And then we're going to drag in our crop lines and then crop the image, and then kind of crop out all of that information of the sketchbook. Okay. Okay. Now, when you think you're happy with it, press the tick on the top right-hand corner. Now, one thing to do is to zoom in to your image to have a look around to see if you're happy with it. On computers, on Mac, sorry, that's Command plus, like this. And then to go out, it's Command minus or take away. And then you can sort of look around your image to check that you're happy. We might want to crop that in a little bit more at the corners because you can see the kind of dividing line of my sketchbook there. And we want to crop it at the top there as well because we've still got all that kind of black. So we're going to go out, click on crop again. I'm going to crop in there, and then we're going to crop up there just to make sure that we've got none of that unnecessary information outside the page. When you're happy, click OK. And I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So remember again, what we want to do is we want to check our color profile by going to Image, Mode. Now, because this is a color image, we don't need to do what we did before. We just need to choose between RGB color and CMYK. Again, I'm not going to print this image, so it only needs to be RGB. You're only ever going to see this on a digital platform, so RGB color is fine. Another thing to check, guys, and this is really, really important for your images, is that they are scanned correctly, because you're going to get problems moving forward. So what I would like you to do is check your image size. And to do that, you go to Image, and then you click Image Size. And one thing I really want you to look out for is that your imaging is scanned at the 300 resolution. Now, if it's more than 300, so if it's 400, 500, you can kind of knock that down to 300. It'll create a smaller file. But if your image is under 300 dots per inch, or DPI, which is where this resolution is here, you need to go back and scan at 300 DPI. Okay, anything less is just going to create a pixelated image. Okay, so we're at 300 here, so I'm absolutely happy with that. Okay, so I'm on RGB, I have my image at 300 DPI. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate my layer. So remember, we go to the right-hand side, click on layers, and you want to make sure that you click on the lock there, the padlock, to unlock that layer. You're going to go to your horizontal bars in the right-hand top right-hand corner, and then we're going to go duplicate layer. Call mine copy, call whatever you like, but copy is quite a good name. Now, what's going to be different from the black and white image is that we are using color now. So we're going to start to play around with the color. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do exactly the same process at the beginning that I did with my black and white image, which is I'm going to go to this icon here down below, the create new fill or adjustment layers. Click on that. And I'm going to go to levels, first of all, because you see we've got some black in here. I just really want to make that black ink come up as strong as black as possible, and all the black kind of in and around the image as well. You know, like the black there and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the left slider into the middle. So we're going to pick up some of that black, and you can see the black ink is kind of getting blacker. And then when we're happy with that, we go back to layers. Okay. And then we are going to merge our layer, our levels layer down. And remember how we did that last time? Go to the top right-hand corner to those horizontal bars, and then you'll see merge down. Okay. Click on that, and you've merged down to that copy layer. Now, remember to check any changes. So it might be subtle, but to check the changes by looking at the original layer underneath. So you can do that by clicking our eye icon above, and you should start to see, there you go, a slight variation in the blackness of the image because we've just changed that on layers. So, you know, we have made a change to this image, okay? So now what I want to focus on is I want to focus on the blue and the green here, right? So I kind of want to make them just a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to go back to our circular icon there where you found levels. You're going to click on that. And there are all sorts of things that you can play around with. I'm only going to show you one now, but I really advise you to just kind of have fun with all of these things, you know, and find out what they do. But what I'm going to play around with now is the color balance. Okay, so I'm going to click on color balance, and it gives me all these options here, right? And the two predominant colors in my image here are blue and green, right? So I'm going to play around just a little bit. I'm going to tweak them just a little bit with the blue and the green. So if you see here, you have cyan, red, magenta, green, yellow, and blue. You're going to identify your colors, and you're going to play around accordingly. So I'm going to look at the blue, which is at the bottom bar here to the right. I'm going to take my slider in the middle. Look what happens. So the more blue you add, it just sort of slowly turns everything blue, which is not what we want. See how the text is kind of turning blue there as well. What I want is I just want to make the blue just a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to kind of go there. And again, you might think, can't really see much of a difference, but we'll have a look later by looking at the original, and you'll see the difference. And then I just want to pick up that green a little bit there. So I'm going to click on green, and I'm just going to slide it up a little bit. Okay. Right, when we're happy with that, we click back to layer. Okay, I'm going to merge that layer down again. And what I want you to look at now when we look at the original layer is just have a look at the blue and the green and see if there's any difference. Are you ready? There we are. So what we've done there is we've picked up that blue and that green a little bit, and we've just made it a little bit more vibrant. Okay, it's not rocket science, you know, it's quite simple stuff here. Just playing around with the colors, making them a little bit richer and a bit more exciting. So that's all I want you to do for this one. But then for your next color image, I want you to really play around with all of the options that you have here, right? So why not play around with what solid color does, play around with the gradient, the pattern, brightness and contrast, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue and saturation. Go mad, okay? But remember, really, what we're trying to do is just create very clean, simple images. You've already done the hard work by creating all of these beautiful drawings. You don't have to like suddenly make everything kind of pink with loads of like crazy, strange patterns all over your images. Don't go crazy. Don't change the quality of the image, but you can play around and kind of edit it. Okay, so there you go. Two very, very simple ways of kind of touching up a black and white image and a color image from a scan in your sketchbook. So have a go at those and do several other versions. And then remember that we're going to go to File, Save As. We do not want to save as a PSD file because they are huge. Go to make sure we go to Format and select JPEG. Okay. Remember our digital hygiene. Remember we saved this. Let's call it week of work. And then we've saved that as a JPEG. Remember, click that finished image file. So we know where all of our finished image files are. Click Save. Make sure it's on 12 quality and press OK. And let's just have another look at compare and contrast. Here is our nice, vibrant, colorful, finished version. And then here was our original. Okay, so we haven't made a huge amount of difference to the quality, to the color of the paper, because the paper is still that kind of off, kind of white, maybe kind of a creamy color, but I quite like that. But I think the colors are more vibrant, the blacks are more black. There's obviously the image has been straightened and it's been cropped. And now it's ready to be put into, Photoshop in or Google Slides or PowerPoint keynotes, etc., etc. Okay, guys, well, look, have fun with that, and yeah, enjoy.